Good morning, welcome to News Superfast with me, Harish Upadhyaya. First up in the big news that we are tracking this morning, 10 people have been burnt alive in bus accident that occurred on National Highway number 4 in Chitradurga. Bus belongs to SBR Travels, and this is the incident that has happened in Chitradurga where 10 people are killed, burnt alive in this horrific bus accident in Chitradurga. This is the big news that we are tracking. The information is that this bus belonged to SBR Travels. These are the horrific visuals from the crash site in Chitradurga. The primary information is that 10 people have been killed in this accident. 12 people have been seriously injured. They have been rushed to the hospital. This is in Hiriyur Taluk of Chitradurga in a place called Metikurki. It's suspected that the bus first toppled and then later on it caught fire. Hiriyur police have visited the spot. The bus number is KA01C7353. The bus was heading from Davangere to Bengaluru. That's when this accident occurred. The preliminary information is that 10 people have been killed in this particular accident. This is SBR Travels bus that was heading to Bengaluru from Davangere. And not just 10 people killed, 12 people have been critically injured. That is what we are learning at this point in time. This is Chitradurga, roughly around 200 kilometers from Bangalore. The bus seems to have left Davangere sometime late in the night and was heading to Bengaluru. At this juncture, it's not known what really triggered this massive fire, but it is suspected that the bus first toppled to going out of control and then later on caught fire. 10 people have been charred to death in this particular accident. 8 people are critically injured. Going by the looks of it, it looks like a sleeper coach. The police are now trying to retrieve bodies that are charred beyond recognition. For viewers who are joining in just now, this is a bus belonging to the SBR Travels heading from Davangere to Bengaluru that has caught fire late last night. The bus number is KA01C7353. 10 people have been charred to death in this accident. My colleague Varghese joins over the phone line for more information. Well, Varghese, what more information do we have?
Well, at present, what we know is that this bus was on its way from Davangere to Bengaluru, and it was on National Highway 4 that there was fire that was noticed in the bus, and well, there are two versions to it at present, Harish. What they are saying is that first they noticed the fire around 1 kilometer away itself, but the bus driver did not stop, and when he realized it, it was too late, and then he broke the windshield and he came out of the bus. And the other version says that it was just within 200 meters and the bus driver just lost control. He broke the windshield and ran away while the bus was out of control and went and straight fell next to the side of that road. And this, in fact, the impact of it was such that it hit the diesel tank of the bus, and the fire that was already there in the bus, in fact, the diesel splashed on the passengers and the fire charred them to death because of this incident. But there are several version, the eyewitnesses are saying that they saw the bus, in fact, coming towards that particular curb in that area of NH4, and when they saw the bus already was on fire, and what they saw was that several people started breaking the glasses of the windows, and they were able to come out immediately. But also, Harish, at present we are not able to give a complete figure with regarding to those who have been killed in this accident, because the situation is so complex that people are still taking out bodies, and to some of the extent the bodies have been charred to such an extent that there is only the skeletal structure that is left after the entire process of being burnt. And also, they are still counting the number of people who could be there. What we know is that only one woman was able to escape from it. We do not know what is the total capacity of passengers who were there in it. And we know that most of the people who survived were actually young men, because they were able to break and get out of the bus immediately as the fire, when they were alerted with regards to the fire. And they have suffered some minor injuries. Some of them have been taken to the Taluk hospital in that area, and some also to Davangere for better treatment. But there are people who suffered severe burns. There are at least around, they say, 5 at present who have suffered serious burns, because of which they have in fact gone ahead and taken them to Davangere for treatment. But at present the reports are sketchy. People say that they've been able to identify at least 10 bodies, and when I say identify, they've been able to only know that there are 10 people who are dead there. The identities of the victims are yet to be established because of the extreme nature in which they have been burnt. Because some of the bodies are taken into account only by calculating the skulls that they have got. So that is the state of the horrific accident that has happened. And the bus number is 017353, and it belongs to SBR Travels. And also another thing critical to this, Harish, is the fact that this was a sleeper bus, in fact, because of which it is actually very difficult within the structure of a sleeper bus for people to actually come out and escape, because there are several layers and planks to which the people are made to sit, and since there is a sleeping provision also given, so it is actually very difficult for movement within the bus. So we also don't know that how many passengers could have been aware that the bus was on fire, because they might have been in deep sleep, because it happened quite early in the morning, around 2 or 3 is what people are saying. At present, the SP of the region is there, Ravi Kumar is there, and what he's saying is that there are all the they are looking into the case, and in fact the fire tenders also had rushed to the spot once they had got the information. But by then the entire bus was in flames, and a lot of these people who were actually sleeping is what we can think that have become victims to it, because they were not able to immediately react. But it's a horrific accident that has happened, and this bus was heading from Davangere to Bengaluru, and at present we are looking at the numbers could go up, because they are still recovering the bodies. The localites of the area are also there. Some of them had been awake early in the morning. They were tending to their herds of sheep and cows, and they also saw this incident, and they came running in to help the passengers. But some of the passengers were lucky enough to break the glass and jump, but they were young passengers. We do not know what is the exact profile of the other passengers there, Harish.
Well, Verghese, do we have any information on what time this bus left Davangere and what time it was supposed to reach Bangalore?
Well, what we know is that it's supposed to reach Bangalore in the morning, and it had left around somewhere in the evening yesterday. And at the time of the question now is like what went wrong, and people are trying to figure out what it was. Some people say it's a technical problem that has happened, but still with an arson case of this nature, we are trying to figure out how this entire incident happened. The police are also trying to figure out how it happened, because there are conflicting reports about how whether the fire started in front of the engine also, or whether it was from the back, and how did the diesel compartment where the tank give way, how it was damaged. Because most of them now are trying to say that it is because the bus went away from the road and crashed itself onto the side of the road. The diesel tank ruptured, and because of it, the diesel splashed inside the van, adding fuel to the fire that was already there. So they're trying to find out the cause of the fire and how it spread to such an extent, Harish.
Well, Verghese, I'll place you on hold. For viewers who are joining in just now, this is the horrific bus accident that is being reported early this morning. Bus belonging to SBR Travels heading from Davangere to Bengaluru caught fire midway in Hiriyur Taluk of the Davangere district, Chitradurga district, and at least 10 people have been feared charred to death in this particular accident. 8 people are injured, and they have been rushed to a nearby hospital. This is the SBR Travels bus that we are talking about, that was heading from Davangere to Chitradurga. This is KA01C7353. Going by the looks of the charred remains of the bus, it looks like a sleeper coach with 29 people traveling in it. 10 bodies have been retrieved as of now, and most of these bodies are beyond recognition, and the police are having a tough time establishing the recognition of these bodies. In the meanwhile, the rescue officials, both emergency and police officials, are at the spot. They are trying to go through the charred remains of the bus to see if there are any more bodies or survivors perhaps in the bus. There are conflicting reports coming in on what really triggered this accident. One of the reports that is coming in is that this bus caught fire and the driver did not notice it, and later on, when he noticed the fire, he jumped out of the bus. The bus hit a median or a side curve, and later on the bus toppled. The fact that the bus was a sleeper coach has aggravated the situation, with people finding it difficult to jump out of the bus. This is the third major bus fire accident that we are seeing in the last 1 year. First was the Mahbub Nagar bus accident involving a Jabbar Travels bus, which caught fire where 45 people, nearly 45 people were killed, and the bus was heading to Hyderabad from Bangalore. 45 people were killed in that particular bus accident. Just a few days later, in November, we had seen another Volvo bus, that's National Travel bus, operating between Bangalore and Mumbai, going up in flames near Haveri. And now this incident of a SBR Travel bus heading from Davangere to Bengaluru going up in flames. 29 people were traveling in this ill-fated bus. The emergency and fire officials as well as the local police rushed to the spot, but the intensity of the fire and the accident was such that they could save only a few people. By the time both nearby residents, villagers could rush in and save others, 10 people lost their life. As of now, 10 bodies